nano station, and kind of aimed toward Guelph and downtown Kitchener, Waterloo, and one aimed toward the 5 is actually aimed toward Elmira. But we need something in between to make the connection for the fire hall.
Oh, okay, so you haven't made that connection yet, eh? Okay, yeah, well, I guess get enough of them into the system, get people putting them up, and eventually it'll all connect together, I guess.
Well, that's the whole idea. These have been online before Christmas. We hadn't checked them lately. They do keep a log of anyone who has tried, but last time we looked, no one has connected to them. So, but they're there. The beacon is going out.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Hopefully somebody in the area will tune into that sort of thing. Somebody needs, maybe we get Ted to do a presentation at the Kitchener Club and get some interest there as well. Maybe a few more people would get a few online.
Well, Terry, that's what it's going to take. It's got to take multiple interest to make it actually come together and work.
When you're using them as a question for you, when you're using them as a mesh network, can you still use them as a Wi-Fi type router?
Actually, we have a Linksys 54L L or GL that we link to here in the shack as just an access point to the 2.4.
Also, if I connect up with you, I can get free Wi-Fi and surf the internet. Is that what you're telling me?
No, the internet's not hooked up to that router.
Oh, darn. I thought I had a pretty good in there. It would have been worthwhile to go out and buy a big one and get free Wi-Fi. That's not nice, is it?
Oh, yeah, geez, I got a neighbor that I met that is doing that exact thing. Well, wait a minute. What's he doing? He's stealing internet.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, you better watch out. You hook that thing up. You have your neighbor snooping in on you and scanning you and finding out what you're doing there. All right, very good. I'll hold you there, Judd, and we'll go to VE3KCY. Ken, are you going to get a mesh network up in your tower in Alma?
We'll give it a whirl. We'll get something up here and just see how, I guess, what kind of a distance the signal, whether we can hit Elmira from here, and I'm sure we can do Fergus. I'm not sure whether we can make Guelph or not, but anyway, and once the nicer weather hits, we'll probably give her a shot.
Sounds good. Yeah, I guess we get enough of those in the air and up at a good elevation. You got good elevation up there too, so that really helps a lot. So, but you have also got the distance away, so it's you win one and you lose one, but maybe you'll have a net gain on that one.
All we can do is try, and then go from there. Not too much new to report here. I mean, my Saturday. My antennas were still ice coated, and by Sunday they were bare. And I was away yesterday, and so not too much time to play radio. Went down to Toronto to the RV show, and I got to see what the other half lives like. Was in an RV motorhome, whatever you want to call it. 650,000. That's the closest I'll ever get to one.
How many did you buy?
That's what I told you. That's the closest I'll ever get to when I saw one. I walked through it.
Oh, okay. So you took a walk on the wild side. Yeah, that's $650,000 for RV. That's I don't know where do these people come from that have that kind of money and the time to drive around and make it worthwhile buying one. You can buy a lot of hotel rooms, really good hotel rooms for $650,000.
Yes, for sure. I think 2.5 bathrooms in it, even a washer and dryer, go figure.
Wow. There you go. Does it have the sides that pop out and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yes. I think about 4 or 5 of them. I don't know where you would crank up the value in that, but basically like a highway coach, and actually a new highway coach is close to $1 million nowadays, they say, so I guess this is not really out of line. Wow,
that's certainly out of my price range for sure. We should get one of those for field day. That'd be really nice to have for field day. What do you think?
Well, I have to club going to get one for a communications station, mobile communications center.
Exactly. Well, we got a new treasurer coming in, so we'll have to see if we can bend his ear and see how much money he's got in the coffer and see if we can go that route. Speaking of which, we'll bring in VE3ML. Come on in. So what do you think? Do you think we can get one of those for the our MCOM trailer?
Well, Gary, since the club became incorporated, it has the ability to purchase, make that kind of a purchase, and to take out the appropriate insurance. So the only issue is funding.
Yeah, I suppose there's probably a little bit of we'd have to up our membership a little bit. We've done that once already, so it would be probably better not to go that way.
I don't think we'd have any members left if we did that. Hi. So, yeah, just to follow up on the conversation about the IC 7300, when I sent an email to Radio World probably about a couple of months ago now, at that point they didn't have a date, but they did expect that the price point would be approximately $1,900. So I think that if that is the final price for the IC 7300 in Canada, that'll probably be about the right price for it to sell here.
That's not too bad. It's probably $1,500-$1,600 in the U.S. then, isn't it? Or maybe a bit less.
Yeah, I heard expectation that it's around $1,500 to $1,600 US dollars, but again, the actual price hasn't been published anywhere yet.
Well, it's an interesting radio. It doesn't bother you that it doesn't have the 2 meter 70 centimeter?
Oh no, not at all. I'm planning to keep the FT897 for VHF UHF and backup for HF, and but I was looking for something that had much better performance on HF, and last fall I was ready to buy a TS590SG until 7300, and decided to just postpone the purchase of an HF radio until the 7300 was on the market. So that's my plan now, is to buy the IC 7300 when it's available.
Sounds good. Yeah, there was some issue with the TS590. There was spikes in the transmission or something like that. I recall reading something about that. People were complaining that it had these really strong spikes on when you first keyed them up or something like that. Did you read anything about that?
Yes, well, what I read about it was that it was an issue with the first model, the TS590. So Kenwood did they made improvements to it, and it's been marketed as the TS590SG. So some of the issues that they had with the first model were fixed in version 2.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I know that Paul of VE3 EWN had a 590 for a while, and he eventually sold it. But he wanted to go back to the FT1000, and he used the FT1000. He sold me his, and he regretted doing it. For I found him another one, and he went and bought it and picked it up. And I think he's probably going to stay with that now.
Yeah, I guess the 1000, from what I've read about it, it was leading edge technology at the time, but certainly not now.
No, it's not. It's the DSP and all that on it is pretty dated, that's for sure. But I don't tend to use it anyway. I have an outboard DSP that I use for the audio. But it's a good receiver. It's got dual receivers in it, and they both are quite good. So it's a nice receiver. Very, very nice audio on it as well too. It's as you said, it was a flagship at the time, but it's been superseded by a couple generations since then.
Yeah, I feel that SDR it really is the future of amateur radio. So I've heard that Yaesu is probably about 2 years away from putting an SDR radio on the market, but really looking forward to the performance that SDR offers.
Yeah, there's just so many advantages of being able to see what you're looking for on the bands, things like that. I use the Flex almost all the time. I hardly turn the FT1000 on now at all. So, but I do use it for listening sometimes, especially on the low bands. It's pretty good down in the below the broadcast band. It works pretty nicely down there. So, I do from time to time use it down there. And I have it connected up to a 2 meter transverter, and it worked really, really well with that as well too.
Yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to trying at some point in the future is doing transverter with an SDR HF radio. I think that would be a pretty good performing combination.
Yeah, and a lot of the new radios have IFs out on the back of them. You can actually do an interface. I know all the old Flexes, the 5000 and the 1500, both had transverter ports on them, and I think some of the newer radios are going that direction too. Is that something that would be on the new the one you're looking at?
Yeah, that's a good question, Terry, and I don't know what the answer is.
That would certainly be a nice feature if they could have that on there, because transverters are not terribly expensive. You can get pretty reasonably priced transverters, and then you've got that SDR performance with a transverter connected to it. That'd be kind of a really good combination.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I don't know if that's a feature on the radio or not, but you're right. If you were able to hook up a transverter to an SDR radio, you'd get really superb performance.
Yeah, I bought this one. I have a very one of the top of the line 2 meter transverters, and it's a German-made one, the Kuna. And but I bought it thinking I could interface it to the Flex 5000. When I found out that once you have the 2 meter installed on there, you cannot use any other 2 meter transverter. They didn't tell that until after the fact, and I was trying to get this thing operational. Could not get it operational, so I actually got a 1500 Flex 1500 so I could operate it, but it doesn't have the same noise floor as the 5000, so I was pretty disappointed on that. But I did the FT1000 does have the transverter ports on it, so I was able to interface it there and get some results of that. All right, Wes, I'm going to hold you there, and before I go to Jason, I'm going to put one more call out for anyone else wishing to check into the Guelph Amateur Radio Club 2 meter sideband net. Please come now.
VE3SXB, if you hear me there, Terry.
VE3SXB, let me swing the beam down your way, and we'll pick you up. Hang on a second.
What's the score, Fred?
Score 2-0 for Tampa.
Still 2-0, eh?
Roger.
William Nylander had a good chance to score. Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, I don't expect much out of them now to the end of the season, Paul. It's an American Hockey League team playing in the NHL right now.
Yeah, or maybe even worse than that. I'll let Terry pick you up. I'm on the vertical here.
Did you hear about Reimer today?
No.
I was reading on the internet today. They figured the reason they dumped him was because they had a couple of short contract talks mid-season, and he was asking for $6 million a year.
Okay, I briefly heard about the whisper of that last week, and yeah. Well, egos uber alles, eh?
Yeah, why would you dump Fanoff for $7 million to pay him $6 million a year?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you hockey guys. How are you tonight, Fred? What's new with you?
Oh, not too much there, Terry. Just kind of watching the hockey and listening to you guys. I was a little bit later getting in, but I've been sitting here since about 20 after listening to you guys there, and the band doesn't seem to be in too bad of condition. You had a bit of a warble on your signal, even though you weren't pointed my direction, but I could hear you tonight, so I thought, well, I'll just multitask and listen to you guys while I'm watching the hockey game.
Yeah, I was pointing north, and you got me off the back end of the beam there, so it wasn't the best of signals. But well, the Leafs are doing the usual thing by losing tonight.
Well, so far, and they possibly will lose, but like I was just saying to Paul, they don't have an NHL team left anymore. They've got an American Hockey League team where 3/4 of it is anyway, playing against Tampa, which is one of the top teams. So, I mean, you know, if they were to beat them, that would be great. But they're so far in a hole, they're worse than a rabbit down the hole.
Maybe they should bring up their junior A hockey team or something like that. At least get some energy in there, if nothing else, and a lot lower salary expectations.
Well, that's what they've got there right now, Terry. That's what I say. The American Hockey League. That's the level below the National Hockey League, and that's what they've got. 3/4 of the team is the American Hockey League, the junior guys.
Oh, really? Wow. I guess you got to start somewhere, but hopefully it'll be a building block for them anyway. All right, you got to go back to your game, and I got to go back to Jason.
All right. Well, I'm listening here and watching the game at the same time, so I don't think I can think of anything earth-shattering for you. I imagine you guys are getting strong winds like we are here. We've been getting heavy winds right from Friday, and they've never let up. Steady gust all the time, and then every now and then it really blow up, and then it settles down a bit. But you know, we're getting the winds, heavy winds right from Friday, so we'll see what happens. And then the storm's supposed to come in sometime tomorrow there, so we'll see how many inches we have to dig out from.
Yeah, for sure. I had problems with that ice storm last week. My antennas were iced up. We were shutting my amplifier down, but it seems to be okay tonight. So hopefully we'll get that functional without any problem in the next couple days. All right, I'm going to go back up to VE3JVG. Jason, come on in. So you're getting all envious now, these new rigs coming out. Jason, you're going to be trading up pretty soon?
Yeah, VE3XTM in the group. VE3JVG. Not as of yet, Terry. Like I think you mentioned before, if I was more of an HF kind of guy, then yeah, I'd be on board with it, and maybe look at one of the newer Flex 6000 series radios. But because I don't do much HF as of yet, I'm going to just stick with what I got for the time being, and been exploring a little bit of the digital side of things with the little Yaesu FTM 100 that I've got. Judd and I have had conversations on a couple of the repeaters on the fusion side of it, so hopefully that's up and coming, and we're looking at maybe somebody getting into the wires, the Yaesu wires side of things, and being able to hook a repeater up to the internet, and then we can connect worldwide with other repeaters. So no, I'm not on the SDR bandwagon as of yet. Back to you.
Well, you got a pretty good rig there. You got great audio out on that rig, and I would hang on to that for a while to come. Yeah, I looked at the 6500 and the 6700, but I couldn't justify that kind of money. As I said, I don't do a whole lot of HF sort of stuff, and actually having more fun playing with the little ELAD at 5 watts on QRP than anything, so I don't see any need to do that. I actually sold off both my, I had 3 HF amplifiers, and I sold off 2 of them already. I've got a small Ameritron left here that puts out about 400 watts to 300 or 400 watts. That's enough. Just if you need a bit of a boost, it gives you a bit of another few dB a gain there. But for the most part, I'm not really into the HF side of things either. So, all right, very good. Jason, anything else?
No, not much more to add, Terry. Haven't done much radio myself other than the FM digital, and the antennas being froze up for almost a week there last week, and 10 meters hasn't seen much action. And I did get your email today, so we can talk about that later, and maybe at the Elmira meeting if you make it there on Wednesday.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd certainly, I can tell you all about it. It's not a big job, so I'll tell you all about it anyway. Please fill in the details and questions you may have. All right, Jason, very good. I'm going to jump back up to Doug. He's probably already gone by now. He's gone 10 minutes over his time. Yeah, that or he's asleep at his machine there. Doug, HP, are you still around?
You're going to have to come up with a klaxon or something to jar me awake.
All right, I'll have to do that. I'll get a real big old school bell or something in here. I'll bang that around a little bit, and that'll. I don't want you falling off your chair or anything like that, though.
no. If I get any older, I'll probably have to put a seatbelt on it, though.
Yeah, I used to work with a guy in Montreal. That was back in the days when they used to have those desk chairs. They only had four little legs on them, like the four roll-out chairs. And he was always, this French-Canadian guy, was always falling asleep at his desk. And when people go up behind him, it was in a pharmaceutical lab, and they had all these, they kept all their chemicals and powders in these big tins, you know, they have big lids on them, probably, almost a foot across, some of these things. And that somebody would wing one of these across the lab, and it'd land behind his chair, and this guy would start over his chair and go, and down on the floor you go. So we won't do that to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, I'm familiar with those chairs, and they do tip over fairly easily. No two ways about it. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see how the radio business plays out. I like the SDR idea, but I'm still more interested in above 6 meters at this point. So we'll see. I may end up doing absolutely nothing. Anyway, I'll stay similarly true to you and the multitude on frequency here. Good cross section tonight, and I can actually copy Fred when I'm on. Got the vertical connected, so not strong, but he's in there. Otherwise, I really have to swing the beam around, and I lose everybody else. 7-3, and good luck on Wednesday night. If it's as bad as it sounds like it might be, I don't think I'll be going anywhere. The E3XTM and the net, this is the E3HP.
Yeah, Tuesday seems to be the worst day. Saturday or Wednesday is supposed to be a little bit sunny with 30% chance of snow flurries, so hopefully it'll be clear by then. The roads will be clear. 7-3 to you, Doug, and I'll see if Steve is still around. He's probably headed off to bed right now. But VA3 ZXN, do you want to come in for 7-3 if you're still there? Steve has gone off to bed. He gets up pretty early in the morning and off to work. So, all right, let's bring in VE3 PVB. Paul, come on in.
Yeah. Has anybody ever said that we should get an IRLP node on one of our repeaters, or nobody's mentioned that?
There's been some talk about it. You might want to bring it up at the next meeting, just as a point of discussion when we get on the repeater side of things.
Yeah, because the other one in town, because it's not coupled in. I mean, I just found it so convenient. At the cottage, I would come into MUS up there and immediately just dial in the IRLP, and I was on the Wednesday night 8 o'clock. Kind of neat. Okay, I'm going to start the 73 round, Terry, and get out of here. It's been good listening to everybody. Everybody sounds pretty good here. And we'll, it sounds like, what is it? I guess it's 70-30 we're going type of thing, right? So, but you never know. Maybe we'll get the storm over with tomorrow, Terry. VE3XTM, VE3TVB, 73 to everybody, and take care.
All right, Paul, 7-3, yeah, we'll keep in touch about getting up there and so on. I have to be there, of course, to give the presentation, so we ducked out of that once, but it looks like it's for Wednesday may be okay. All right, 7-3 to you, Paul, and we'll go back to VE3WXU. Doug, are you still around?
Yeah, we're still here, Terry, and I got to tell you, I asked you the question, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week about the digital repeaters there in Guelph, and we actually made our first hookup with JVG there off of SLD, and I have to comment that SLD, what a great repeater. That repeater actually has range all the way to Arthur on analog.
Yeah, it's up on an old tower that is quite high. They got a good antenna up there. They managed to get in there for free as well too, which is very nice. And it was, I think it was formerly where the police were, and then there was this tower left there with these antennas up there, and the coax was all there. So we got permission from the current owners of the property to connect up to it, and it tested out okay, and they put the new fusion repeater on there. So I'm glad you're able to use it, and glad you made a digital contact. How did you like the digital?
Sinclair antenna.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Sinclair antenna or what?
Yeah, that's Paul said. It's Sinclair antenna that's up there.
Yeah, 4-bay Sinclair antenna, top of the line antenna.
All right. Well, anyway, we did make a connection Friday night, and we remember it very well. 10 after 9 with JVG, Jason there, and Drayton, and we realized we had missed the 4:30 net, but we did make a digital connection, and we moved it over to the Elmira machine to find out if it would perform just as well, and it did. We were very impressed with the digital side of both repeaters.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, I can hear the guys when they're on digital here. I've got an old ICOM I listen through during the day, and it doesn't have tone squelch on it. And unfortunately, when they're talking on digital, I get this hash coming through, and I have to turn the radio down. So I got to do something about that.
Yeah, well, now I know why they recommend running tone squelch for the analogs, members of a club that have a fusion. But I was kind of surprised that it didn't sound like the DMR repeater here in town.
Yeah. So, is there a fusion repeater in Kitchener as well?
No, there is a DMR repeater just down the hill, Terry. That's I bet you it's not 5 blocks from us. Actually, NXS, the one that Craig used for the demonstration, is actually just down the street from us. And I've actually tuned to that frequency, and hear it on analog. It actually has a loud sound to it.
All right, yeah. I know during the day here there was a bunch of guys on the fusion repeater on the digital side today, so if you're listening around on to SLD, you may pick up some of those guys during the day. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Terry, actually we're going to set our radios to tone squelch now that we finally figured this one out. But we have heard a couple of noises like that and switched over radios to the FT 991 here and actually realized that it was digital.
Yeah, it's quite a distinctive sound, that's for sure. It's with my old radio here, it's pretty noisy.
All right, Terry, thanks for holding that tonight. I guess we're going to back out. Joyce has come downstairs. I guess she wants me and her and the dog to go for a short walk before we go to bed.
That sounds like a very healthy thing to do, and good for Joyce that she's getting you up and moving around.
All right, Terry, and everybody on net, everyone have a great night, and 73s, 73, VE3WXU in the group.
73, Judd, and 73 to Joyce as well, too, if she's listening. So thanks for coming in, Judd. Always great to hear you, and I'll try to get into the morning net tomorrow if I can get myself out of bed, but I have my class tomorrow morning, too, my workout thing, so it's a bit of a rush morning for me. All right, 73, Judd, and we're going to be E3KCY. Ken, come on in for a final and a 73.
73, Terry, and thanks for doing the net. Really good crowd there tonight, and keep your snow shovels warmed up so that it's over by Wednesday, so we can attend the meeting on Wednesday night. So 73, have a great one. V3XM, V3KCY.
Yeah, we'll do that, Ken. You got this snow shovel. We didn't put it away yet, so even with all that nice warm weather we had the last couple of weeks, we figured there's probably a little bit more winter yet to deal with, so we weren't quite that foolhardy. All right, very good, Ken. 7-3, and we'll see if Wes is still around. VE3ML, Wes way up in Fergus. Come on in for a final in 7-3.
we're way up here in Fergus, Terry, but we're not way up as far as Alma. Hi. So 73 and Terry and everybody on net, and good crowd tonight, and let's hope that the winter storm isn't as severe as forecast, but we'll take it as it comes. The 3ML clear.
All right, Wes, do you work over in Elora?
That's correct. I work. The office that I work in is in Elora.
Right, yeah, okay, very good. Well, safe drive tomorrow if you have to drive through that snow. It's supposed to start in the morning, so have to watch it during the day, I guess. 7-3 to you, Wes, and we'll bring in VE3JVG. Jason, come on in for a final in the 7-3.
Yeah, very good, Terry. Yeah, thanks for running the net here again tonight. And just a comment on the digital QSO with Judd. He said I was really scratchy into the SLD repeater on analog, but pretty much crystal clear on the digital side of things. So that's good that I was able to do that with him and figure that out. And yeah, hopefully when they get the tower up here, I'm going to get either a vertical antenna Omni or a vertical dual band Yankee, and maybe I can run some FM nets on the Guelph repeater there. I was listening again tonight and there wasn't much action there, so maybe we're in need of some net controllers, so hopefully I can do that in the future. So anyways, thanks again, 73, and hopefully we'll meet up with you on Wednesday. 73 from VE3JVG.
Yeah, 73, Jason, and thanks for the report on the digital. Just a quick question, what radio are you using for that fusion repeater?
I picked up the little Yaesu FTM 100 back at the, I think it was the Newmarket Ham Fest in the fall.
All right, very good. How much power does that put out?
Its high power is 50 watts.
That's pretty reasonable. What was the price of that